Good evening and welcome to Fishing with CJ down on the beach. Lovely evening. I thought, window in the weather, we're going to have to come down and give it a go. So I'm down here admiring the sunset. Yeah, beautiful sunset over the wind farm. Get my first rod set up, get myself fishing. Put the camera back on when things start to happen. See you in a bit. I've just got to pause my setting up just to have a look at that sunset. That is spectacular. Look at that. Don't know if the camera's picking it up or how deep red it is, but yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. It's, wow. Look at that sunset. Fantastic. Fish are a bonus on an evening like this. Considering the crap weather we've had and the forecast is not good coming up, which is why I'm out on the beach today, not out on my boat, to be quite honest. Could have gone out on the boat today, but I've made a decision and I'm here. So yeah, what a beautiful evening. Finish off tackling up, get cast out, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Certainly some weight on here anyway. That is definitely going there. Have we got a fish in here in the surf? Let's have a look what we got. Yeah, definitely a fish there. Let's not drag it up the beach. I think it might be an eel. Oh yes, it's a combination. It's a free header, baby conger eel, tiny conger eel, and two whiting. So there's a good start to the evening. So we're not blanking, and they're reasonable sized whiting, and the eel is totally twisted himself up. So let's unclip this. Oh, he's totally twisted it up. It's going to be a while unpicking that, I think. Let's turn this off. Make sure you've got this on the camera. Yeah, so there you go. A tangle of fish. Two whiting and a conger eel has then chosen to spin up the line and make an almighty mess. So, going to be untangling that for a while, I feel. Good God, that is a mess. It's actually got his tail up inside the gills of the whiting. So one whiting, and then we have got, it is a conger eel, it's not a silver eel, slimy horrible thing that it is. I think we're going to have to cut this snood up, put a new fresh snood on. I'm not going to get that untangled, that's for sure. Little ones are as slimy as the big ones. So there's a tiny little conger eel, and two whiting. Let's get them all back in the ocean. He's gone. Yeah, I think the whiting might make it. We'll pick them up on the beach later if we haven't. Take them home and cook them. Oh, the whiting have a rod in because I don't want to go through that trauma again. Means I haven't got anything in the water fishing. Conger eel slime off my hands, all over my new coat. That's gone off downside again as well. It feels like there's something on here. Yeah, I think there's some white in there, or a white in, at least one. Yeah, on that one, just one little undersized whiting. One little undersized whiting. But he gave it an almighty rattle. Let's get these baited up and back out there. I'm not fishing at the moment, which isn't good, but then I'm not match angling, so I'm just fishing for pleasure. So just chill, calm down, and just take your time. If I get plagued with whiting and it gets really difficult, I'll go down to one rod. And away. It's the quickest. This is going to be the quickest rod to get tackled up, the fixed spool, I think. So I'll do that one first, because the other one's going to do need a bit untangling, I think. Right, well, I'm not even tackled my second rod up, and the first rod is going loopy. I think it might turn into a bit of a whiting fest today. I don't know if you see that. Let me just turn this on, make sure the camera's pointing the right way. Having a bit of a light and camera issues here. So, am I seeing that rod? You see that rod? I haven't even set myself up yet that way I want to be. I'm going to have a light on the rod tips. I think I'll get this second rod out and then we'll set some lights up before we do anything more. Well, I've just cast my second rod out, put it in the rod breast, moved the first rod, and straight away I've got a slack liner and a decent bite actually. It's quite a bite. So, oh, line parted. Something went then. There's a decent fish on there then. Is the leader not went or what? Yeah, leader not went. So there you go. I'm going to be tying a new leader on now. It won't be long enough, it's going to have to move. Yeah, there was a good fish there. That was a good fish. Right, tie this again and put the camera on when something happens. I've tackled up the other rod now. As you know, I don't know if you saw it, I don't know if the mics are working, but I had a real good bite and a slack liner on that left-hand rod. And when I wound into it, there was something really solid there for a few seconds and then the leader knot parted. So I think I lost something reasonable there. Might have been a big eel, could have been a ray. But whatever, we'll never know, unless it turns up with my rig in its mouth. So I've rigged it up and I got it out. Now that did have, one of the hooks had a big piece of squid on it. So who knows, it might have been that picked up something decent. So I've put this out again with a big chunk of squid on it, just to see if we get lucky. In the meantime, I need to have a little sit down because I want a cup of tea and a piece of cake. So who knows, things might happen as soon as I get a cup of tea and a piece of cake in my hand. We'll see. Right, so you keep an eye on my rods while I'm making myself a cup of tea and a piece of cake, and we'll see if it goes, see what happens. It is, of course, a nice sticky piece of cake. So it's a luxury lemon and fudge cake and a ready-made cup of tea. So as I say, we'll leave the camera on the rod tips. I guarantee I'll start getting real big solid bites as soon as I get a bit of cake in my hand, but we'll see. So, shout out if you're here, if you see a bite. Oh. I am going to have to move soon, those waves are getting very close. As soon as I've had a bit of cake, I'm going to have to move up the beach. Good news is, I've only got to move the once, I think, get above the tide line. Oh, sticky cake. I'm going to end up with lemon drizzle, squid and worm fingers. Right, fish, I've got sticky cake in my hands. And I do believe that right hand rod's going. Remember, that is monofill. So the bites are, oh, left hand rod's going. Look at that, sticky cake and a piece of bloody cup of tea. Guaranteed every time. Sticky cake and a cup of tea every time. I have got 3 hooks on there, haven't I? Let's leave that to develop. Let's move my stuff up the beach. And I'll put the camera back on once I've done that. Right, I've moved up the beach and the left-hand rod is still nodding and banging. So let's wind into it and see what we've got on there. It's been out there a while, and it actually hasn't been out there a while. It's the one that snapped off, just reset up. Really ought to check the right-hand rod first. Might be imagination, but the right-hand rod might be going as well. Let's run the right-hand rod in and just keep an eye on the left-hand rod. And then we'll see how it goes. So get the right-hand rod in first. Just been talking to the guy next to me on the beach there, Neil. He says he's had a lot of conger eels off here recently, so it might be worth just putting a stinger rig out, see if we can't pick up a whiting and leave it out there with a bigger hook above it. Oh, left hand rod's going, solid bite on the left hand rod then. I think I'm going to end up with both rods out of the water at the same time again. Feels like there's something on here. See it? Yeah. But it's all back in the waves. Oh yeah, there is some fish there. Just a little whiting, I think. Nice, nice live bait size whiting. Might make up a stinger rig. What do you think? Oh, actually, no, not small. They're nice. Nice. Well, one of them's nice. One of them's a bit small. Yeah. Let's rig up a stinger rig. I think I've got all the makings for one. So, for the benefit of the camera, I don't know if it's, yeah. So, two nice whiting. Both would be sizable in a competition. Both over 27, I reckon. Get them straight back. They're a bit big for a stinger rig, really. They were as small as I thought they were. Oh, nice one.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I lost last time. I'm going to put a stinger rig out, I think, see if I can't get a nice eel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
nice
just
one.
going to go and get mine up and put back.
Yeah, hang on, do you want to get it on the camera here? Just bring it up to the camera thing. Yeah, go on. So, I was just saying that Neil has been saying he's been getting some nice eels and he's just walked over with this bad boy.
There you go.
Look at that. Yeah, nice eel for off the beach.
Right, I'm
But,
going to go and get mine
yeah,
up now.
Yeah, get him back, mate.
All right, mate.
And I've got these two nice whiting. I'm going to, as I say, I might make a stinger rig up because I'm fed up with whiting.
Okay.
And see if I can't get a big one. See you later. Oh, my other rod's going mad now. Let's get that other rod in. See if we've got something on there. That's the one with a whole bit of squid on it. So, definitely going mental. Woo! Hard work. Look. There's only small hooks on here, so. Could be an eel. Something on here, something solid. Something solid. Won't drag it up the beach because, as I say, they're only little hooks, so. I think it's an eel, but it's a tiddly one. Oh, what have we got? Two dogfish, I think. Two dogfish and a whiting. There you go. So. He's on the camera. Double doggy and a nice little bait-sized whiting. So yeah, we will get a stinger rig out, I think, and then we'll get these doggies back. Woo! One. Trying to wrap his tail around me and take the skin off the back of my hands. 2 doggies and 1 reasonable whiting. That's 6 whiting I've had, 2 dogs and an eel so far. Alright, let's get them back quickly. And away! And away! Right, let's get 1 rod back out so it's fishing, and then we'll get the other one out. I think we'll use the fixed spool for the stinger rig. We'll put this one out because it's going a bit further, I think, with worm and squid on, and yeah, that's what we'll do. So, another dogfish, and there was a whiting on there as well, which I've chucked back. So that's 4 dogfish, 7 whiting back so far. I've had another leader knot go. I don't know what's going on with my leader knots. It's this cheap braid I had. I was never very fond of it. But it seems to be letting me down badly. this bait back up and get it out there. Have another go tying a stinger rig. It's definitely getting cold now. My fingertips are cold, I have to say. Right, so now I've got a stinger rig out on the left-hand rod, which basically is a bigger hook with a little tiny hook with a tiny piece of bait on it off the back of the hook using a knotless knot. The idea is that a whiting comes and takes that bit of bait, gets hooked, and then is there struggling and putting out lots of vibrations in the water, and a big old bad conger comes along, engulfs a lot, gets hooked on the bigger hook, and we catch a conger. Tried it a few times, haven't had any joy with it, but I know it works, so I've got confidence that it will work, so we just keep on trying. And it's a good way of, you know, if you're getting plagued with loads and loads of whiting, it makes whiting into a bait rather than a nuisance, which is good. So we'll leave them out there, and again we'll put the camera on if something happens. I'm going to have another cup of tea and a piece of cake, because that last time that resulted in some fish. So I'm also going to put my coat on because there's an east wind now blowing, which is what was forecast, and it is very cold. Very cold. I don't even know what time it is. Must be getting near to high water. Oh, it's only 7 minutes to 8, so I think high water's another hour yet, hour and a bit. So I might have to move again. Right, anyway, so camera will go on when something happens. Well, typical. Cup of tea, piece of cake, and the right hand rod's going. So let's wind into that, see what we got. Might be a dogfish. Might be whiting. It's actually been out there for quite a while, so there's probably a few fish asleep on it. There's 3 hooks there though, so. And then I think I'm going to have to move up the beach because the tide is coming in fast. Oh. Because the left-hand rod I'm just going to leave out unless it bends right over. Trying to gamble on it picking up a little whiting. What we got here? Swimming about. It's whiting. 3 of them. Oh no, 2 whiting and a pouting. So another species on the shore. Let's just get them on camera. So 1 whiting, and then a whiting and a pouting, which have managed to unite themselves. So yeah, get it baited up and get it back out. I think I've got a whiting on the stinger rig, which is good. We'll leave that. Let's hope it's gorged itself on the hook. And it's a good size whiting, to be honest. It's a good size whiting. Next time maybe I'll come down and do a catch and cook if they're coming in fast and furious like this. And not a bad size pouting, to be fair, off the beach. Get that rig untangled, and then pouting do spin up the line. You always know if you had pouting on because your lines are all twisted, and this one's all twisted around itself. When you're fishing on a boat, you can see them when they come up. They're spinning around and around and around. I'm losing count of how many whiting I've had. I think there's 8, I think. Very impressed with this Sea Legs tripod. It's very stable, very steady. I say it looks quite substantial until you pick it up and realise it's actually quite light. There's only one other fish that twists your lines up worse than a pouting, and that's an eel, as we saw earlier on. But I hope you're enjoying it down here. I am really enjoying it. It's definitely winter draws on. Definitely time to move up because the waves are breaking around the feet of my tripod. I know it's sea legs, but this one done. That's it. That's it. Right, let's move this up. I think I bust the zip on my bloody jacket. Just a bit emotional. Just had a little bit of activity on the right hand rod. Looked like a little whiting bite, to be truthful, but I'll leave the camera on a bit. The camera was on, so because I forgot to turn it off. So maybe in the very long, boring film that I made then, at the end I might have the bite. Live action on camera. But of course the camera goes on. Oh, and the left-hand rod, which is my Stinger rig. Oh, there we go. Definitely got something going on that right-hand rod. And I'm a bit sliced. I'm cast a bit out to the right, so there's every chance I'm going to end up tangling the guy next to me, but hopefully not. Yeah, definitely got some activity on that right-hand rod, and I think I saw some little quivers on the left-hand rod, which mean that perhaps I've got a little live bait on there, which should be good. Yeah. 3 hooks on there, leave it a little bit longer. Definitely something on the right-hand rod. I don't know if you're seeing it on the camera or not. The light's not great. I put my headlight on it. Of course, I put my headlight on, nothing will happen. Definitely some twitching and rattling going on that left-hand rod, which is good news because, as I say, that's my bait. Hopefully, it's a little whiting, and he's putting lots of distress signals out in the water there, and some great big chunking great conger will come along and whoop him down. I think if I get a big bite, I'll let line out, let the conger run with it for a bit. Don't know if that'll work or not. Excellent, 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 excellent. Well, I'm really enjoying it. It's a cracking day on the beach. The whiting are a nuisance. In another week or so of fishing down here, we'll be sick and tired of catching whiting. But it's always good the first night on the beach when the whiting are in. That's my belief anyway. Right, I'm going to sit now and have a cup of tea and a bit more drizzle cake, and hopefully I'll get a big bite. Definitely going, isn't it? Definitely going. Oh yeah, there we go. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't have some cake. We'll wind into that. Let's see what we got on there. Let's find out if we've got the next door neighbours crossed his line. If he suddenly jumps up. Probably just whiting. If there is a fish there, it ain't big. He's not running into his rod, so I didn't cross his line, I don't think. Which is a miracle. Shop reader. Got a fish here or not? No. Well, it was definitely a bite, wasn't there? We saw the bite. We definitely saw a bite. The worms have all been noshed, but no fish. Little fish means the little fish are in. Well, it's getting to the end of the session. I'm not quite sure what the time is, but it must be pretty much high tide now. I'm just going to wind this in. I've got one more set of baits to put out, and then we're going to knock it on the head. So we'll get these in, freshen the baits up, and then start thinking about packing up. Can't see what I'm doing with a level wind, so need to be able to make sure that's right. I mean, these baits have been out soaking for quite a while, and I've been down talking to Neil down the way there. He's only had the one big eel. He's only fishing for big eels, to be fair. Here we go. Little dogfish. 2 little dogfish. So we've had quite a few dogfish today. There. Woo! Woo! That's not good. Wave came up and engulfed my torch. Luckily I moved my bait tray up because that would have wiped all my bait away. Let's get these off here, get them away. So what's that, 6 dogfish I've had tonight? Right, that's it, that's the top of the tide. I was only going to fish to the top of the tide, so I'm going to pack up now and head home. Been a cracking evening though, a real good evening, I really enjoyed it. Virtually fish every chuck at the start of the session. Yeah, and I missed one good fish, I think. We saw Neil catch that lovely eel, Neil with the eel. And this will probably explain why we've not caught anything decent on the Stinger rig. There's a dogfish on there, but you can see how it works. He's hooked on the little bottom hook there, and then you've got a bigger hook just above his head. So the eel would come along, if it was a whiting, eat that whiting and get hooked on that bigger hook. But unfortunately, dogfish, I don't know they are on the menu for conger eels, but you never know. So he's been sat on there for quite a while, I guess. Never mind, that is the risk you take. And he's only lightly hooked, but he's been on there for a while. So get him back. So he's away. Let's pack this one away. We'll wind the other rod in and see if there's anything on there, and then we'll call it a night. Feels like there's something on here. I am surprised by that. I think there was a fish on there. I think it's come off. But yeah, I think that's about one of the few times I've wound in with nothing on anything. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a cracking day on the beach. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Not been too cold. Keep safe, keep sane, keep fishing. See you on the next one. Hopefully out on the boat.